I don't think the comparison between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Pochettino is a fair one. The expectation as manager of Manchester United and manager of Spurs are completely different. Jose Mourinho, as Stevie rightly pointed out, won the Europa League with Manchester United, wasn't able to do that with Spurs. That being said, talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and more to the point, what Craig's criticism of him, I think it's totally fair. And going back to yesterday's show, I thought something Frank said was really interesting. Finals are games that you win. It's not about how you play, it's not about what you do. You have to have that mentality about winning. And Manchester United have failed to do that consistently under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yes, you can boast that you finished second in the league. Yes, you can boast that you've gone undefeated in the league this campaign. But in the league, you also beat and draw with Manchester City, but lose to them in a cup semi-final. In the Champions League, you beat Leipzig at home 5-0. And then you go away needing, a point to qualify for the group stage, and you lose that game. You go into a Europa League final against a team sitting, where were Villarreal? Fifth in La Liga?
Seventh in La Liga.
Let's remember, Atletico won that league and looked tame at best against Chelsea, who finished fourth in the Premier League. But you go against Villarreal and you lose that as well, albeit on penalties. But it's a poor Villarreal team. And you know, while you might want to cling to, well, we were undefeated at home, well, we lost to City, and City are so good, and you may want to say you're progressing, but under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you'll be kind of looking for that progression, but you won't lift any silverware. That I am now certain of.
Nedum?
Yeah, I was going to say, some of the perspectives in which we talk about them going unbeaten away from home and so on and so forth, I think that more matters for people from the outside. I think when they look on the inside, the players on the staff will know that it's not been good enough. You know, to go on that run is great and whatever, but it means nothing if you don't win a title. Going into that game yesterday, they had to, you know, this a big occasion, they have to win, but it wasn't a case of if they won, everything would be great, because the fact of the matter is, it's Manchester United in the Europa League after falling out of the Champions League. So for them to sort of let themselves down and so on, you know, the players themselves, I don't think they'll be looking around today thinking of the positives. I think they'll be definitely disappointed, because ultimately, I think for the squad that they have and so on, I think they'll know that they've underperformed. So like I say, it's not a case of the players essentially and most of the staff saying everything's okay, because I think deep down they know that it's not. They've got players there, for example, in a Paul Pogba who's won a World Cup. So to lose in Europa League final, you know, he's thinking to himself, well, probably what is this? Where are we? And what's going on? And it's disappointing. But then we also have to give credit to Villarreal. You know, we talk about where they finished in La Liga and so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, they made it to the final of European competition. So it was always going to be a tough game. And even though United were favourites, it shouldn't have been a case that they were going to romp them. So in my opinion, you know, the positives that we do speak of, it's more so a sense of balance from the outside, but inside, you know, they'll be greatly disappointed by this year, and they won't be celebrating the fact that they were second. I think they'll be more so disappointed in the fact that they finished second after being first in January.
You know, Craig's talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not being ready for this job. Do you think Alex Ferguson would be standing, telling the press, game after game, defeat after defeat, bad result after bad result, that we're getting better? Not a chance. He's talking about after this game that we didn't turn up, and then in the second half we didn't take control. Alex Ferguson would have ripped half of their heads off in the dressing room to make sure that they took control, to make sure that maybe they hadn't turned up in the first half, but they would have turned up in the second half. I'm sorry. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the last guy I'm going to be scared of walking in a dressing room after a poor performance.
On that point, Nedum, Antonio Conte is available, of course, after leaving Inter. This is a proven winner. You know what you're going to get from him. Yeah. If you're Manchester United, what are you seeing from Solskjaer? What have you seen that you need to stick with him and not bring in someone of the pedigree of Conte?
You know, it's, as Craig was alluding to, I think the fact that he is a legend at the club, I think that is buying him time, especially at this moment in time when fans are protesting against the ownership and so on. And obviously fans are disappointed. But I don't know how many will be saying, Solskjaer has to go, Solskjaer has to go, because they're still kind of clinging in some ways to an identity that exists within him. So yes, they could remove him and you could bring in Conte, it might get the fans excited and so on, but into someone like Conte, he would transform a club. And is that what Manchester United want to see? And again, the toughest thing about being a Manchester United player and Manchester United fan right now is you will always compare yourself to the glory days under Sir Alex Ferguson. Any manager who comes in, can he give their hairdryer treatment to the same way? Can he galvanise the team in the same way? And ultimately, most of those managers are elsewhere. And even some of those managers themselves, they don't have the same characteristics as a Sir Alex Ferguson does. But that's when most United fans felt the fondest about their football club. So, for them, if they can afford to sack Solskjaer now, I'm not sure given the protests. But, when you find some of these big name managers on the market, it would be naive to not at least look at them. And, maybe this is going to be the summer for United, but maybe there'll be some unrest if that is the case.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.